is Florian, and in this video I'm going to explain how Fantomas writes the code. In last video we saw that Fantomas uses an untyped AST tree from the F# compiler and then processes that tree to get to the source code. Well, in this video I want to go a bit deeper into that and how does the tree actually get written back into the formatted code. So for this video, I'm going to use VS Code, and let's just debug a simple unit test where the whole process can be explained, and you'll see how it actually ends up back to the text. So we're going to take this simple record declaration test here, and the first thing you notice that I'm in VS Code, and there's no real something to click that just says start the test. So in this case, we're going to have to do a little trick with the .NET test command. If I go to my command line to the test project, I can first set an environment variable. This is going to make sense in a while, to attach my debugger. So if I go vs test host debug equals 1, and if I now type .NET tests, and I can actually filter the test I'm interested in to debug with the filter command, and then I say the name equals, and then record declaration. So if I now execute that .NET test command, the first thing that will happen is that it is going to wait for me until a debugger is attached. So you can see the test run started, it is waiting, and there's a process ID. I have a launch.json where I can just attach to any .NET Core process. So if I start debugging, I can enter my process ID, which I can see over here. So 14204. If I pick this, the debugger gets attached, and at first glance, nothing happens. So why is my breakpoint hitting here? This was very confusing to me, but what you can do here is just continue, and then the debugger starts working. So magic right there. Now in our unit test, we first go to the format source string. And in this case, we'll have a single member. We can see here a sharp list. The first member is just types. Then if we go to the model declaration, this is also going to be types. We can see that we have a gen type definition. So this is just following the tree. And you'll notice that you see this plus greater than operator often. This actually combines functions. So everything was based on a function where a context goes in and a context goes out. Inside of that function, WriterEvents are being applied. And basically, we just compose all functions together with this operator. There are other operators as well, but this is like the most used one. If we then, for example, search for another operator here, we can see that this actually writes events to the context. So WriterEvents will then basically create one of those events and apply them to the current events that's already in the context. So if we continue, we go to our type definition under the cover. Quickly try and skip to the end here. We can see that we're in apply. We're in the dump function. This is our context. We can see inside the context what are the writer events, and it basically says write type, write a parameters, the equal sign, indent, go to write line, which enters a new line. Then we're adding just a space or an empty new line. We'll do the curly brace. We'll set the column indent. You can see here exactly what happens. These are all the events that have been playing out. And that then concludes our formatting. Then we add an additional new line if we need it. So if Fantomas ends formatting, it always adds an extra new line. And we can see that our unit test passed. So in a nutshell, that's how AST tree is being formatted to the source code. So maybe quickly, I'll just add something in Code Printer to that indicates where where are we in the formatting. There's an actually helper method for this. So maybe let's go to gen type definition. Over here, we had our breakpoint here. We have type name equals. We can actually add a function dump and continue. This will stop, pause, look what's inside the context, apply the writer events, show us what's already in place, and then just do nothing to the existing. Don't add any events, but just continue with the rest of the function. So if I were to use this one, let's say we're going to add this here. We're going to, after the set open, if you look at set open, it just will add the curly brace. So that might be a good example to show. Let me enter .NET test again with the filter. Okay, we can attach again. We see 14700. Then we need to press continue again, which is a bit strange, but go with it. And our first breakpoint hits. Now let's just skip over to the good parts. All right, you can see now in dump and continue. If I would go to the next line, we can see in lines here what's already out there. So this is the first line. And this then concatenates if there were multiple lines. So let's continue. We hit that breakpoint again, just after the curly brace. So if we now go see our lines, we have two already. We have this, we have the curly brace with space. Space was determined by the configuration settings. So that's kind of how that works. I hope you found this video interesting, the series as a whole. If you have any suggestions on things you want to see, definitely let me know. And keep on formatting. Thank you very much. Take care.